Good morning. Welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. I'm right behind the camera right here. This is the daily self-therapeutic multimedia project for me to solve the problems and challenges in my life, as well as a self-improvement process for me to reach the goals and ambitions set for myself. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, stepping into the camera, we have two live streams today. Okay, and so wherever you're from, welcome. If you're from Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, welcome to the live stream. Two live streams today, like I said. The first one will focus on mostly food-related items that I purchased about last week. I believe it was probably Friday or Thursday, and I didn't cover it because I mentioned the previous week was so hectic. Or maybe it wasn't last week, it was just maybe 3-4 days ago at the beginning of the week. And in addition to that, of course, we have the photographs to show that kind of food. Some of it's thrown away, that's like Tim Hortons stuff, coffee donut shop, not shop, but franchise, as well as some places of travel. So that's what we're going to cover the first live stream. First of two, we're going to cover some food I ate for breakfast earlier this week, as well as some places I went to do a sort of, by analogy, a recon or scouting of places to sit down and eat out in an urban setting. And then the second of two live streams today will focus on some grocery items, which I have on the side. We have some cookies, we have some bakery items, not some very healthy stuff, but it's what I ate regardless yesterday after I came home from work. And then I also have to talk about the most important thing coming up right now is my cousin's birthday and the gift cards I have for him. So that's going to be the next live stream, just showcasing it right now. So with that out of the way, of course, the introduction, as usual, I mentioned the therapeutic project, yada yada. You know, if you had 100, we have many sub-series to the greater Ahn Rho Project, which is that self-therapeutic, self-improvement process. It's broken down to many sub-series, one of which is, 1,000 days till death. If you had only 100 hours, what would you do within those, roughly 4 days to live your life with satisfaction? Do the 3 most important things for the people you care for so that you can die without regrets. Another sub-series is item catalog. That one is where I database everything that comes in and comes out of my life. That's largely what I'm doing right here. In today's 2 streams, a lot of items, food items, gift items I'm purchasing, just supplies that coming in and out. What comes in must come out. And then of course we have lots of different, domains of life, such as money and relationships, hobbies and interests. We cover all that shit. The recent week, our live streams have been focused heavily on how just almost 15 to 25 things just all came at once, from dentistry appointment, my workplace benefits, loans, student loans, my caregiver's birthday, my brother coming back, my cousin's upcoming birthday, creating an account on various platforms for live streaming, as well as just doing some technical stuff. And then of course working full-time as well and having some issues there with my colleagues. My problem, like that's on me, as well as my volunteering thing that I've gone aside with seniors and long-term care centers. But of course that's everything just coming together. There's a lot more I haven't mentioned, and so this is just a big management project, and that's what the Ahn Rho Project is. This, self-therapeutic, self-improvement process, but also it's like a game. It's like a survival game in modern life, really. It's a game in real life. I like to use like some survival game. It's also, I guess, a time capsule, a record of me to look back on maybe 30 years down the road, to see how I've changed and improved in the process, and see just how things were back then. So it's all of that. And it's also even like a business analogy, in a sense. You could say shipping and receiving, what comes in must come out. That's the item catalog sub-series. So let's just deep dive into today's portion of the item catalog sub-series. What do we have for just stuff that came in today that we're going to talk about is just, or not today, but I mentioned a couple of days ago. So if you see in the top left, top right, Sorry, my left is your right is my left. On the top left-hand corner, I believe, we have two photographs of something from Tim Hortons. And Tim Hortons, if you're not familiar, because it's a Canadian thing, it's our coffee and donut shop that's been turned into it's pretty much a national franchise. Um, and Monday I was late for work, and so I went out there and I picked up some. We're just gonna cover what I purchased. It cost about $6.88. It wasn't very cheap. It was a combo. It was a bacon egg cheese McMuffin. I mean McMuffin. Bacon egg cheese English muffin, and they wrapped it really well. Combo. So bacon egg cheese English muffin combo, and I had steeped tea with it, chamomile to lower the blood pressure, as well as what else do we have? We switched out the hash brown that's supposed to be on the side for a Boston cream donut. So Boston cream donut, bacon egg McMuffin, as well as chamomile tea. And that's sort of what we had for breakfast. And I couldn't show that, like physically speaking, this is all that's left. So I had to take two photographs out there. Now it's not a great photograph. I know it's not showing the food itself, it's just the packaging. But nevertheless, there's something I wanted to highlight about that. If you take a look at the coffee cup, I magnified it. And the reason why is because you take a look, you can see a lot of names there. And what I like about this sort of design, what they've done with the coffee cup, is they've given a shout out, essentially paid respects to a lot of the essential workers who are working right now during the pandemic era, the whole COVID-19 thing that's going around still. Of course, you have a lot of essential workers' names on the coffee cup, and that's what's going on there. Tim Hortons has publicized, just sort of paid respects to, in a sense, I know it's just a marketing gimmick or whatever, but even still, it's nice to see that, just to see the names of some people and what they do. So for instance, they might have some names, so I'll give a random name like John Smith, and then they'll put a comma, and then behind it will be his title and the position he has. Maybe he's a grocery worker, maybe he's a registered nurse, maybe he's a respiratory therapist, any sort of essential worker. A lot of them, I believe I saw half of them were in healthcare. You can see on the names on that coffee cup, and I thought that was really neat. Like I said, it's probably just a marketing thing, but it's a marketing thing, and it's also paying respects to the people who are working who were working during some really not so good times. I'm having lots of words today. I'm sorry. Today's a late live stream. Anyways, that's that. And so that's the first thing I want to cover today. Of course, I do have something to show to camera in person, and that's just you saw one of the bags there. Obviously, the white one's gone. That's the sandwich, and one of the packaging for the Boston cream donut is gone. But I do have the napkins still. I still have the packaging and the napkins. So I'm going to reuse these napkins, obviously. I mean, I haven't used them. I'm going to use them. I'll keep this. What else do we have? Oh, we have some garbage here. I mentioned that I didn't mention, sorry, but I'll cover that next live stream. I want to say that we can move on to the second topic, and that's sort of related to food that's going to cover here. And it's also related to stuff that I missed. I'm just trying to work away at all like I said, there were like 10, 15, 25 different things that came all together over the weekend. And I'm just slowly trying to chop away at each of these with each live stream that I make. Every live stream, every 2 live streams per day covers only about 2 to 3, 4 topics. And I have to cover all 20 to 25 things that have sort of just crunched into my life. And it's a really hectic management game. So let's take a look on the next topic, which is sort of a bit of a travel. And this kind of falls off of yesterday's live stream. So if you check my previous live stream yesterday, again, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're coming from, you'll find on my channel yesterday I talked about a little bit of local travel. And what I was talking about, one of my streams was on this sort of traditional Chinese, conservative Chinese, Hong Kong, refugees from Hong Kong in the 1990s, early 1990s, late 1980s, fleeing communist China, just going all over the world in Western countries, and then setting up these little Chinatowns And eventually they'd all become the doctors, the lawyers, the engineers, and stuff like that because they're just very conservative minded, hardworking, disciplined, responsible individuals. And one of the things, of course, that they started in their communities when they first arrived, obviously not having community, is these Chinatowns. And so I figured I would cover over the weekend. Something I had to do was get some clinic, and I talk about how I was searching for some places that I used to go to with my caregivers back in the 90s, 2 decades ago, um, to look for a better optometrist, a dentist, a family doctor. And so I showcased yesterday just some photographs on stream of the traditional, these little Chinatowns that today in 2020 are actually quite deserted or quite empty. And it's a little bit sad, but time goes on. There are new communities who immigrate, new communities who come, and old communities who go and they just move upwards or move north up here. Certainly in GTA, everyone's moved to Markham. They don't stay downtown Toronto anymore. So it's just a shifting in demographics through time, and that's very natural. It's just human history in action, except there's a very small time scale, right? It's just 20 years. That's like nothing. That's a blink in the blink in a that's like a blink in a second. That's a totally wrong analogy there. But needless to say, I was talking about that, and today is sort of relevant to that because you see, look, we're just following off the traveling trend, local travel really. And you take a look at the very top. My left is your right, so your top right. We have two photographs there that I want to showcase, and what that is. If you see, those two photographs they don't look like anything special. So unlike yesterday's stream where I focused on plazas and shopping malls that have sort of gone deserted, the photographs here are actually sort of like just the sidewalk. It's just showing the sidewalk, and you're wondering, well, what's so interesting about that? You might be, and certainly, it doesn't seem like there's much. But what's going on is in between my travels over the weekend, searching out these sort of nostalgic, reminiscent places that I used to frequent, like the old Chinatowns, the old the old shopping centers of when back in the day, 20, 30 years ago, Hong Kong refugees came to set up, and my caregivers used to bring me there all the time as a kid. A lot of those shopping malls, in between I bought some stuff and I had to eat, and I was thinking, where can I sit down, because I know that I'm going to go back and return there once in a while. I'm going to drop by, and I had some food, so I was thinking, it's the middle of the day, we're going to find a place to sit down and eat. And so I have some two photographs there that I mentioned. It's just basically me looking for a place that's kind of quiet, like a residential area, or maybe even it's in almost like a business plaza area, but just around the corner. I have to look around the corners, make sure that I find a place that's sort of quiet, but not too deserted, right? You still want to have some people showing up so that it's kind of like secure or safe in some sense. You never want to, and don't walk down a dark alleyway, even if you want to just find a place to eat by yourself, don't walk down a dark alleyway. That's just stupid, right? Common sense. So obviously I found some places and I took some photographs of kind of what I would call, it's like a recon, it's like scouting out a place that you can sit down and eat under the tree on a sunny day, and you have some stuff that you picked up from a restaurant as takeout or from the grocery store, and sit down on a side, like not to behind the sidewalk, under the trees, and have something to lean against. So you see two photographs of that. Me just one leaning against like a massage sort of office building next to the plaza called, I believe it was like a Dragon Dynasty. We have lots of we always do this whenever we name things in Guangdong, everything we always like to include the word like dragon or shopping, Dragon Center, Dragon City Center. That's kind of Longzhongsam, that's how we call it. So that's kind of that's the name of a plaza, of a shopping center or district. And just right around the corner, I would just find a place to sit. And I took a few photographs of that. The one on the bottom, I believe, or on the top, there's one of a condo in the background. There's a lot brighter, bright blue skies. That's actually not with the shopping center. The next day, I ended up going to pick up some groceries from No Frills. And once again, after picking up groceries, I want to eat some things while waiting for the bus. So I searched out a place to just sit down. And ironically, obviously, I shop very early in the morning because it's quite quiet, and I like that. So I could actually sit on the curb. So you can see one of the photographs there is really just almost like an intersection, but more quiet intersection. And I just sat down on the curb, eating some, coffee crisp, drinking a little bit of pop. That's it. So that being said, that's everything I had to cover today in the first of 2 live streams. We have a second live stream coming up in about 90 seconds after we end this one, and that will be covering some grocery items. But most importantly, not just the grocery items, my cousin's birthday and what I got for him and his brother, because both I missed one of my cousin's birthday, their brothers, and now I'm going to attend his birthday. So we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that in the second live stream. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Ahn Rho Project. I'll see you in the next live stream in about 90 seconds to 2 minutes. See you all there. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch.